So, just a week ago, Brandon Ingram hit a game winner against the Indiana Pacers. Everything was all great. They were on a 9-game winning streak. I'm making videos about Brandon Ingram being an all-star, and everything flipped. And you ask, what changed? And to be real with you, nothing really changed besides the shot stopped going in. And the part that's really disappointing for me is that I'm not even surprised. Like, I'm not surprised at all. And I'm very, very consistent when it comes to BI. It feels good to be a fan, not a stan. Don't argue with people that will lie to themselves, right, about what's going on. Don't take place in disingenuous conversations that will save you a lot of peace in life. Just a little bit of advice for you guys. Now, what's going on with Brandon Ingram? I think it's important to note that Brandon Ingram has played in 22, 23 straight games. I'm not sure he's ever done that. So do I think Brandon Ingram is tired? Yes. Do I think when you're tired you resort to bad habits? Yes. But do I think he's playing all that different than he was a couple weeks ago? I don't actually. I just think he has tired legs and the mid-range shots, the turnaround fades are not going in the way they were a couple weeks ago. And something that's really standing out about the NBA today, it's not something new, but it really stands out because talent is almost not as important. Let me try to make it make sense, right? So you have to be like crazy talented to stand out. And again, for years and years and years, I've been saying I think Brandon Ingram is one of the most talented players in the NBA. But talent only takes you so far, and as the NBA gets more and more talented, it's actually not taking you as far as it used to. We're seeing more and more on the championship teams. What's really taking them far is talent for sure, but it's a mentality, it's a mindset, and it's a discipline and dedication. I'm not saying Brandon Ingram isn't those things, but to me, there's a different level. And something with mindset, right? Brandon Ingram took 6 threes against the Lakers, right? He took 6 threes and he missed all 6 of those threes, right? He's been a terrible shooter so far this year from 3. Sad thing is, everybody that knows Brandon Ingram, everybody that watches BI, all you stands, right? You watch that game and you knew in your heart that the next game, Brandon Ingram wasn't gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna shoot even more tonight. I'm gonna make sure my 3 goes in. Nope, he's gonna come back the next night and he's not gonna shoot 3s at all. To me, that's a mentality thing. And what happens the next game is BI only takes 1 3. And if you look at this 3, you're probably like, man, that's a confident shot. He feels great about his shot, right? And then you look at it and he's only taking that shot because it's a 2-for-1 situation. And I can make that assertion because if he was feeling great, that wouldn't have been the only 3-point shot he took. That was the only one. He was 3 for 13, only took 1 3 and got 0 free throws. To me, that's a mentality, that's a mindset, that's conceding that your shot isn't going. The great ones would come out and say, you know what, I'm gonna will these shots in tonight. BI gets right back to his comfortable mid-range shots, and even those aren't dropping right now, which is the real problem, right? Nothing's really changed with the way he's playing or his shot selection, just the mid-range jumpers are not dropping right now. And speaking of that Lakers game, right, I mentioned he was 0 for 6 from 3. I knew he wasn't gonna shoot more 3s. He also was 0 for 0 from the free throw line. Took 23 shots, made 0 threes, and did not get to the free throw line once. 23 shots for 20 points. And I'll give him that he was fouled on the last play of the game for sure, but that happens, right? You get 0 free throws in that game. Again, mentality, how do you respond the next game? You go out and get 0 free throws again. You're not aggressive to the rim again. I don't know, to me that says something, and I'm not just reacting off these 2 games. This is a career of Brandon Ingram, one of the most talented players in the NBA. And it's not like he's like a Zion, where I don't want to pile on Zion, but you hear about Zion, it's like he doesn't take anything serious. He doesn't train hard. He doesn't work on his game. That's not my assertion of Zion. That's what people in New Orleans are reporting, that Zion is just not a serious professional. And I don't believe that of BI. I just think he's just not, he doesn't want it the way the greats want it. Not that he doesn't work hard, not that he's not a great player or a very talented player, but other players are not gonna be denied. And Brandon Ingram is fine being denied sometimes. He's chilling. And something that I really hate that people do, that stans do, right? They'll grab a still screenshot of how a player is being guarded and they'll be like, how is he supposed to do anything in this situation? You see it a lot with Steph Curry. Well, I mean, Steph Curry is a little bit different because he is guarded that way, but even when they do it with Steph Curry, it annoys me, right? Because, you know, basketball is not played in frames that way. So you might see a screenshot like this, Brandon Ingram shooting over 3 defenders, and you're like, man, they're guarding him like he's Kobe. But you rewind for a second, and you see that one, Scotty Barnes is open in the corner, but I get if that's not the look we want to get. But if you commit to the drive a little bit more, maybe Cockburner has to come up and commit and you could drop it off to Jakob. But this is also not a bad shot by BI by any means, right? This is his shot. I get this one. Or if I pause it right here, you could look and say, man, look at that contest at the rim. BI has to finish over all these defenders. Where's the spacing? But if you rewind for a second, BI, not an easy, path to the rim here. But again, the 6'8", 7'3" wingspan, 40-inch vertical guy, if you just turn this corner with some intention instead of just trying to set up a midi, which is what he was trying to do, which gives the defender a chance to get back into play and get a shot blocked. If he goes hard, that's a dunk or a drop off to Jakob again. But this is just BI, and on both of these plays, right, the pass was there early. If he makes that pass right away to Jakob, that's a dunk, and it would have been there late if he turned the corner. Same thing with the other play. If he makes that pass early to Scotty Barnes, it's there. If he goes to the rim, the pass late is going to be there to Jakob, but he's always in the middle with the mid-range. Once again, another play. If I pause it at the end of this video, it looks crazy. There's 3 defenders surrounding Brandon Ingram in the mid-range. You rewind, again, turn the corner with some intention, some force. That's either a dunk at the rim or a drop-off to Jakob. But that's BI, and BI is one of the most double-team players in the NBA, and there's a lot of factors for that, right? Some people get double-teamed because they're unstoppable one-on-one. BI kind of fits that category. Some people get double-teamed because they're playing with no spacing and the shooters won't make them pay. BI kind of fits that category as well. But other people get double-teamed because they're not going to be aware of the double coming, because they're going to turn it over, because they're extremely predictable, because they're going to take a mid-range shot over 3 people. BI fits that category as well. So the most double-teamed, there's a lot of credence to that. BI is a hell of a one-on-one type of player. But you also double-team players because they're not aware of their surroundings sometimes. They might turn it over, and BI is turning the ball over like crazy. Last 10 games, 3.7 assists, 3.7 turnovers. So I know if you're watching this video, it seems like I'm way out on Brandon Ingram. I'm down on the Raptors. They're a terrible team. It's over. I'm not there at all. I'm actually exactly where I've been with this team. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they are a first-round exit, maybe 1 playoff series win. And I think that's just what they are. I think this is the Brandon Ingram roller coaster. Like I said, nothing has really changed, and when he gets his legs back under him, these mid-range shots are going to start going in. And I will say he's getting a lot more easier shots in the mid-range here in Toronto. There's a lot more off the screen. There's a lot more wide open middies. There's a lot more closer middies, right? He's taking a lot of shots that are like right in between floater range and mid-range. So it's BI. It's BI. So it's a little bit disappointing that this is happening again. It's a little bit disappointing that the changes aren't there. It's a little bit disappointing that he's still in year 8 now, doesn't trust his 3-point shot. That's all disappointing, but none of it surprising. I still think BI can have an all-star year. I still think he's a very, very good player, but he is who he is, and that's just what it is, right? And anytime you guys hear me try to convince myself that he's about to ascend to a different level or he's a different player, no, he is who he is, which is a good all-star level player. That's what it is, right? And I believe that's good enough for this Raptors team to be a good team. But the idea of Brandon Ingram, he's just now hitting his prime. He's about to take another step. I kind of bought into it, but don't let me buy into that again. Hopefully you guys don't as well. Again, it sounds so negative. I still think Brandon Ingram is a very good player, but this is the roller coaster of Brandon Ingram. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please like, comment, subscribe. It will mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.